Hello guys, and welcome to Bush Life. Right, now the first half of this video is going to be a little bit of a story time, and then for the second half we're going to have some people over. King Toast, maybe Arrow, maybe his brother, who knows. But basically, there has been some groundbreaking discoveries with the Shadow People. We made contact. So last night, me and beautiful partner, we were looking through a bunch of ghost videos on the internet, and we wanted to try an app that could pick up voices or radio waves of something. We found one that had some pretty positive reviews. There was people who had used the real ghost hunting technology with this and comparing it and saying that it worked pretty much the same and gives off the same information. Overall, it seemed pretty trustable, so we used it. And at first, we didn't get too much, just the occasional radio, just like a song playing or something, because it picks up the radio waves. But then, upon entering a room in the house, we actually came in contact with a girl's voice. And we had this other like motion detector thing, and there was someone was like sitting in the corner, but there was no one there. And there was these white orbs in the room, which you could only see on the camera. If you're familiar with spirit orbs, the white ones basically symbolize protection and to stay a while. Basically, we actually came in contact with this being, and it basically, to sum up the entire thing, because there was a lot of re-asking the same questions over and over, but to sum it up, basically, it said that it's trying to protect us. And then later, once it had turned dark, me and beautiful partner, we went outside to the fence that separates the bush and the higher up property, and we put on the thing again to try listen in, and we got the woman again, and she said to stay in the light and to turn on the light. I didn't actually turn on the light, and it was probably a pretty stupid decision, I guess, but basically during our time, we kept hearing the word Sebastian. So I didn't know who this Sebastian was. But then, when we came into contact again, we found out that Sebastian was apparently a shadow figure in this very bush here. And he was... the number 9 had kept appearing as a word. And we actually figured out that Sebastian was at his tree, which has a 9 on it. If you don't know, in episode 60, me and Arrow, we wrote some weird stuff on a tree. And it has a 9 on it. And I also said that it was near the tree with the toilet. I have a toilet down here, if you remember from the early episodes, that weird chair frame that I claimed to be a toilet. But basically, what has happened is, it said that this Sebastian is a shadow figure. It said he is currently down the bush at the tree, which is the tree at the old tent area, and apparently that he's coming for us, and that we were told to run, and that he's trying to kill us, which was nice. That was pleasant. And we didn't move, but then out of the side where the bush was, by the fence, something came running at us, like really fast and aggressively, but there was nothing actually there. So I fumbled with the camera to turn the light on, and it just stopped. Nothing, no movement after that. So that was what I'm calling first contact. From my understanding, this Sebastian, which is apparently the shadow figure that's been down here, it's been over a year I think now since I first started this whole investigation. He basically tried to attack us after we made contact with him. And possibly kill us, I don't know. But we also found out there's apparently 2 shadow figures down here. One of them Sebastian, one may be named Rocky, and whoever this girl is who's trying to protect us, we don't know. So, from now on, I've made it mandatory that if you go down the bush, whether it be day or night, you always bring a torch, because it seems having the light instantly stops whatever this entity is from reaching you. So that's interesting, but since apparently this Sebastian was at the tree of the old tent last night, that's where I've got a beautiful partner down here with me now. That's where we're going to go, and we're going to see if there's anything there, maybe, we don't know. So this whole event is particularly creepy, and some mysterious female voice has said for us to stay in the light, and this isn't just some hoax, from what I can tell, because one of the first things that was said to us when we actually made contact was whatever this was on the other side here actually said my name, my real life name. It called me by my name and said it's trying to protect us. So last I checked, some random app I downloaded, if it were fake, wouldn't know my name. So it seems pretty legit to me, which is quite creepy. But this is the tree it was talking about. Here's the 9s. Those are supposed to be 9s as well. But yeah, that's a bit weird. It also mentioned something about a forest fire, which there is burnt logs down here, so something's come through before. It's just really eerie and weird that this girl trying to protect us and telling us to stay in the light knew my name. And this probably sounds like a whole bunch of rubbish and fake because it wasn't recorded, but yeah, tomorrow we're having people over. We might do some stuff again. Me and beautiful partner, we're gonna set up some stuff now and see if we can listen to anything and see if anything is said now that we are actually down here in the bush. Obviously at daytime, middle of the day, because that seems to be where it is the safest time. But this is weird. So basically there's some shadow figure down here that wants to kill us called Sebastian. Sebastian's not a nice fella from what I'm taking. And that's the toilet I was talking about. This is weird. This is really weird. Super weird. Alright, we've got it on, but it seems to just be picking up a lot of radios at the moment. Is anybody there? Do you have it all the way up?
Used to be.
Radio.
Yeah, it's just picking up a lot of radio.
Oh, I need it. What the heck?
Radios.
Radio.
Give us something. Is there a Sebastian? Is there a Sebastian here? We're just getting radio waves.
Things like this.
Is there a Sebastian here? Is there anybody here? Hello?
It seems more active at night.
Change.
Yeah, we're just getting radio stations at the moment. One last time. Is there anybody here named Sebastian? Nah, we're not getting anything at the moment. Seems we're just picking up radio stations, so we'll try again tomorrow night and see what happens. Here's the creek at its current water level. You can see all those plants that are growing underneath there. Over here, I moved the log here. It wasn't working, so I moved it up there. I'm making a new section in the garden now instead, because I want to have a massive garden area. But this one is still here, and I'll go show that garden area now and some new plants I've got growing. So coming down the garden now, I've opened it up to a new path down here, and there's a new plant growing just in here. I'm getting a whole lot of new plants, hopefully tomorrow, fingers crossed. Hopefully they come in. The mint plant, the original one, is actually still alive here, so that's great news. This is great. There's supposed to be another big storm this afternoon, so hopefully it gives us more water in the creek. Hopefully. And the autumn tree, look at it. Look at it growing. How cool is that? I can't believe it actually survived. That's so cool. Look at the leaves. I love the shape of the leaves. I love it. And I do want to eventually, I want to make like an archway going over here and having the tree growing over it and opening up into a little area in here one day. I think that would be really cool, and I'm looking forward to doing that sometime in the future, probably past episode 100, because I've got everything planned up until then. I'm also growing some new plants here. If all goes well and they grow, they're basically a plant that they spread and grow over everything, so they just grow up this tree, cover the entire ground here, and it'll look really mythical and cool. And then in here, I've got just a little thing there, just so this isn't straight onto the table. So that's pretty cool as well. Because it's spring, all these spiky plants are starting to come back now. It's going to be horrible. They're a nightmare. But at least we've got some flowing water through here again. And some new plants. And the grass is growing back here. But there's also all of this now, which wasn't here a year ago. So that's new. Shadow Demon Protector. He's a happy one too. I'm going to place a rock down here as a reminder of a little something I would like to do down here eventually. So I reckon right there, like that. That's not going to go anywhere surely. So I can remember a little something I want to do down here when the water does go back down. It should be pretty cool. Now instead of going down that way, I'm actually going to go through the original path. It's been a while, but there's something I want. And it's down this way. Wow, this place is starting to get quite overgrown again, isn't it? And I'm looking behind me, the neighbours have completely cleared out their property boundary. You can see right into their property, and they can see right down to the bush. I'm not going to show you guys, just for confidentiality reasons. I can't really show you because you can see the entire house now. Wow, this place is really starting to get overgrown again. All I can say, it's probably for the best that I moved when I did, because those neighbours, they'd see right down here, and I would have been as good as busted if I'd stayed down here, which would not have been good. Alright, this is what I came here for. This old piece of log from ages ago that used to just sit on the tree here, I'm going to turn it into a no trespassing sign, because I don't trust these new neighbours. They're a little bit odd, just walking onto our property like that and moving stuff around and going into my bush tent, mind you. Look, okay, I get it. It's all bush back here. Accidentally walking onto someone's property, that's fine. There is some markers. You can see the fence poles there, but they're fairly overgrown, overall not going to matter. But seeing an actual structure and going into it, that's not okay, because that's very obviously that someone is using that space, and they probably don't want someone there, and you're just going and trespassing on that space. Now, when I built here, I originally thought it was on no one's property, because it wasn't on next door's, but it also wasn't on mine, but it turns out it was actually on council property. Now, I didn't know this until a good like half a year later. So, but still, after I did that, I moved everything, and I let it be gone. There's a nice plant growing there. But still, I moved everything. I did the right thing, and I moved. And I've never walked onto anyone's property and walk into the house. Like, someone walking over here and walking into there is like the equivalent of just seeing someone's house and walking into it, basically. It's just not right. You don't do that. You don't do that. So if they don't listen to the sign, then, well, that's a bit of an issue. And from what I've heard is these neighbours don't even want us down here, even though this is very much our land. We have the free right to be on here. But they don't want us here for some reason. So that's a bit weird to me. And, well, that's too bad. It's tough luck, because this is our land and I'm going to use it for what I wish to do. So they can't tell you not to be on your land. Oh, I left my hat down here. I didn't know about that. That wouldn't be good if that storm hit then, would it? Whoops. Thought I'd just update on the bush plant quickly. It's growing quite well. The pine tree, it's growing a bit. Nothing seems to have munched on it in a while. It's starting to get its leaves back. And over here is looking overall pretty good as well. That's all growing, which I like to see. Overall, I'm really happy with how this place is starting to come together. And as we get closer to the 100th episode, well, there's still quite a few things I want to get done. Originally, I was going to have people over this episode, but I've ultimately decided to save it for next episode, because there is one last thing I want to try get done related to the shadow people before going to next episode, where hopefully I get some plants, get some people over and work on the garden. As for the sign, you can see this tree here has a lot of signs on it. We've got the tiny hut here. So what I'm intending on doing is we've got our sign here, and these neighbours said they followed the path here because my brother and sister, who are a lot younger, they talked to them because they have younger ones that they got the information through. I'm thinking of putting it here like that, because that, I feel like that gets your point across. I'll figure out the placing, but that's what I want, because I don't like the idea of these people thinking they can just do whatever they want and just come over here like it's free will, because it's not. And I have the idea to build some sort of border around roughly where all my land is to show that it's my land. Hold on, I like the look of that tree there. Sorry, this episode is just what I do every time I'm not recording, just get distracted with everything, but look at these. Are these seeds? Or are they flowers? Or, like, could I grow that into more of these? They look cool. I have to look into that. Ooh. Hello. It's growing. It's ferocious. This one here that I'm touching. Now I'm back in the garden here. I do have one plant here that I want to plant. It's quite similar to this one here, but it should grow an orange flower eventually. You'll see. But I'm going to clear this out and get digging. And then I'm going to put up that private property sign. Now the roots on this plant here are quite very easy to maintain. They, like the ones on the trees, they just kind of grow in the air. They're pretty flexible with how you grow them, so this one you don't have to worry too much about, which is good for down here, especially in a drought season where floods and long periods of no water are just very unpredictable times. So it's just what you need. Just need to get a bit more dirt from the dirt mine. Right, so our sign, I reckon around here roughly. Think like that. Now that should do it. There's one. I'm going to put in 2 for good luck. That's pretty solid, that's not going anywhere. Now, this place, this whole bush area that I've been for nearly a year now, it really feels like home down here. So when people come and trespass, I feel just as saddened and threatened as the average homeowner would if someone was going into their land or in their house. When I first started this nearly a year ago now, I expected a maybe 10-20 episode series, maybe over the span of 3-4 months if that. I didn't expect to become as familiar with the bush and learn as many things as I have now. The past year, it's been a rough one for me, but having a place like this down in the bush to escape from reality for an hour or two, it's made all the difference, and it's really made this place feel like home for me. Now, I'm still young, so I don't own my own actual house yet, and I've always had an issue with having somewhere that feels like home, to call my own. And living in someone else's house that they own just doesn't do that for me. But yes, this may be on my mother's property, but I built this all, and it feels like my place, my home. It's the closest I've ever had to feeling like a home. So to lose it would absolutely devastate me. So I'm doing all I can to try and protect what I've got and make it as nice as I want. Over the next year, I'm going to continue to upgrade this place, and then I graduate school at the end of next year, so I don't want to just leave it. I think I'll still keep coming here until I have my own place. Me and beautiful partner, the dream has always been to have our own place together, and it's still the plan, and it will be. I don't see that changing for any reason. And I guess the truth is, anything could, a freak flood could come out of nowhere without warning and take all this out. It would be gone. A bushfire could come through and take this all out. I am aware that could happen. But it's what makes this place feel special. If I knew this was always going to be here, and I didn't have to maintain it or do nothing, then it wouldn't be as special. But what makes the place special is knowing that something could just come through and destroy this all within a day, and all my hard work would be gone. But what makes a place special is coming back and rebuilding. Now, over the past year, I've had moments where I've had to rebuild this thing because it's collapsed or something hasn't worked, but it's worked out, and I even had to move the entire thing. This isn't where I was when I started the series, but at the end of the day, I still like it here. It's the same place, and it felt weird at first, but I've really come to like this new location. This place really does feel like home for me, and I don't see that changing for any reason. And with this whole shadow figure thing, well, I've got a few ideas. You see, they respond to the light, you see. They can't go in it, from what I can understand. They're like some sort of vapor, maybe. I don't know. Point is, they can't go in the light. So if I shadow-proof the tent with more solar lights, then this place will really be safe. So that's also another goal I want to do at one point. But yeah, let's move on to the next part of today's video. I know today's video is a little bit all over the place. I guess this episode is just a little bit of everything. It's not littering if it's decoration. For anyone wondering where Potty Plant Junior went, it's right here, growing at the bush plant. Alright, it's now later into the afternoon. We don't intend on 5 or 6, yeah. We don't intend on staying till night today, but just in case, because there is meant to be a big storm coming in that can darken the area, we do have some lights. So we're going to give a go at the app again and see if we can make any connections.
This was around the time yesterday that we started.
Alright, is the sound up?
What does it look like?
What was that? Is there a Sebastian here? Is there a Sebastian here? Is there anybody there?
B20.
Okay.
Online.
What? Hello? I don't know if that was a radio or... What if we go over to Sebastian's tree?
Maybe.
Let's go.
I'll keep it on.
Yeah, keep it on.
Alright.
I'll keep recording.
Ow, you stood on my foot.
That's what feet are for.
Tree that.
Okay then.
You should show the weird things on the roof.
What weird things on there? Oh
Weird
yeah.
green things.
What are these abominations on my roof? Right.
Oh my god, no.
Come, let's go.
Hello. Your plants are growing.
No, they're not. They're weeds.
They're still pretty. I just got this thing up my butt. Lovely.
Alright, so we're at Sebastian's tree there, and we're listening in still to see if anything is said, so... Is there a Sebastian here? What did it say?
What leg?
What leg? I don't know.
Or something.
Move it closer. Is there a Sebastian here? There's mosquitoes. Is there a Sebastian here?
Christchurch.
The Christchurch is here apparently. Is there a Sebastian here?
Okay.
What if we touch the tree?
Sure.
Oh, come on. Let's go touch Sebastian's tree.
We
Sebastian.
should go touch Sebastian.
No. Preferably not.
Oh, a pretty blue flower.
Get over here.
There's a pretty blue flower. Where near
Sebastian?
your tree.
20.
I'm gonna touch the 9, Sebastian. Sebastian? Are you there? Just ripped Sebastian's tree apart. Sebastian! Sebastian?
Maybe Sebastian can't speak.
Is there anybody there? Is there a shadow figure in this forest? They'll respond more if you say forest over bush.
For some reason. Maybe they're all American. I'm ripping your tree apart.
Arrow did that, not me. Sebastian!
Think about it.
Persistent.
It's just radio stuff. Oh, come on, we're getting such good results last night.
I
The
know.
plan?
We're getting nothing now.
It doesn't seem like they're out very much during the day.
Field.
Who are we to?
Oh, it's just picking up radio signal after radio signal. Maybe when it gets later and there's less radio noise.
We could go outside or even just sit in your room.
Yes.
That way.
Oh, then again, the radios, they're still going to the night and we got stuff, but
But there was less radio.
well, think, they come out at night. So it has to be to do with the night.
I think that will affect.
What did you see?
Nothing. Right, well, I reckon we save this for another night.
Why?
And we should probably check that weather radar. Who knows what storm's coming through. But we do be getting some good bops coming in through that, so we're going to conclude this here for today. We'll come back another night. Maybe with King Toast. Alright, so Beautiful Partner has claimed to see a figure move behind a tree this thin coming from down there, so we're gonna head up now anyway. The weather radar has conveniently decided it doesn't want to work right now for some weird reason.
It's like as if it doesn't want it to work.
I don't know. I thought I saw something there, but it's
That's
probably...
around the same area.
Nah, I swear I just saw something move from tree to tree there.
And how about we get going? Because it is getting dark.
Nah, that's weird, man.
Mhm.
Sebastian! It's fine, we have light still. They can't do anything. If anything, the worst thing we have to worry about is those neighbours, because I don't get their problem. Although, we could just be seeing things. It could just be paranoia. Who knows? Maybe we're all just going insane. Right, well, I see nothing in here. So, we're going to head off now. The pagoda light isn't on, but it is getting dark. There must be a storm coming, but since the radar decided it's not going to work right now,
Itself.
yeah, it's probably better to be safe than sorry. It could be a bad storm. Anyways,
Like it.
we're going to head off now. I'll see you guys in the next one. Stay tuned for King Toast.
Bye-bye.
King Toast will be back.